Welcome to District 42 Synergy Hub, where ideas, learning, and collaboration come together.
We have distinguished Toastmaster Cajetan Barretto. He is a certified trainer, public speaker, behavioral assessor, and a passionate Toastmaster. And he currently works as a group manager of the project management office at Al-Sayr Holding in Kuwait. So since joining Toastmaster in 2017, he has completed 6 pathway paths already and is heading on to his 7th. So congratulations. And Cajetan has served as a club president, VP education, area director, division director, and is now serving as our district public relations manager in District 20, covering Kuwait, Bahrain, Egypt, and Iraq. And he is widely known for his hands-on demos and practical tech tools that turn ordinary meetings into unforgettable experiences. So today he is here to show us how to turn attendees into advocates using tech. So please help me welcome distinguished Toastmaster Cajetan Barretto. Cajetan, the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Kelly, for that warm introduction. And also good morning or good afternoon to wherever you all are joining from. As mentioned, my name is Cajetan Barretto, and today's session is, at least I hope, will be something unique. And why do I say that? Because today I'm not going to focus on a specific tool or technology, or I'm not just going to talk about AI or Canva, or generally my approach today is, in the next 50 to 55 minutes that I have with you, is to sort of showcase to you how technology can be used to leverage this entire journey of a member from the time we reach out to him to the time he becomes a member, then a committed member, and hopefully an advocate for Toastmasters. As mentioned, I am a trainer, not a teacher, and there's a difference to that. Why? Because from a training perspective, I expect interaction, I expect questions, I expect to be challenged in things that maybe you all know better than me. That's what training is about. I'm here to facilitate, I'm here to show you why we should embrace technology in this day and age. So let me get on with my presentation. I have a very short presentation, but I will be showing you some of the tools that I'm talking about. As mentioned also, I am currently the Public Relations Manager for District 20. So I want you all to think of Toastmasters Club as something, as a club that offers services that we need to sell. So if you think in terms of a traditional sales funnel, where we start by creating an awareness in the community, we start creating an awareness to the general public about the presence of Toastmasters. And you will, I'm sure most of you all are aware, most people don't know about Toastmasters, right? So how could we use technology to create this awareness? So that is what I would like to focus on. Secondly, we want to create interest. How will we create interest using technology? How will we create desire for a prospect, somebody who attends your meeting and wants to become a member? And how do we make sure that they become members and start working and developing? So if we were to think about these 4 steps of creating awareness, awareness is nothing but marketing. How we can market a club so that people come to know about Toastmasters. What about interest? Interest is where we create interactions. What do I mean by interactions? Somebody sees your ads, sees your posters, sees your flyers on social media, and then they reach out to you and say, I'm interested. How do you now use technology to create these interactions with this prospect? Once you have created the interactions, you invite the member to your club, and then you showcase them with the best meeting that creates that through a demonstration of how they can themselves become good public speakers. And then the action is where we use mentoring, support, and so forth to make sure that the member becomes a committed Toastmaster, not just coming and paying, but becomes committed. And that commitment is what will create the advocacy, that will create him to bring in the new members. So we are going to go through this funnel and see where technology can help us, how technology can help us in various aspects. Now, when we are marketing, how many of you all have some idea of what we call personas? What is personas? So whenever you want to create any marketing strategy, you try to target a certain section of the community, right? So it might be that your club wants to target young professionals, or you want to target your, let's say, your club to a certain section. Why is it important, basically, to do that is because you will then get members who can connect and become more confident with each other, to network, to take part. So I have created, let's say, a persona, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe a journey. And by the way, you could do this persona when you all are doing your marketing and your planning. You could say, okay, let's target people who are living in a certain area, for example, or let's target people who are, let's say, of a certain profession. So we create a specific, let's say, accountants club. Then your persona would be that accountant, right? So why I created this, because I'm going to show you how we are going to target Tim. And I'm not, of course, talking about Tim Hortons, though many of you might be drinking Tim Hortons over there. So I'm going to say, if we were to reach out to this kind of demographic around young professionals who are, let's say, in a certain industry, how do we reach out to them? How do we use technology to bring them into our club? And how do we engage them and make them, let's say, fall in love with Toastmasters? So the first part, as we saw in our 4-step journey, is the marketing, right? And how can we use technology for marketing? Of course, AI has become a very big part of this journey now, where we can use artificial intelligence to create marketing material, to create even the write-ups, by the way. Right? How many of you all here use AI in any form in Toastmasters? Marcy is using, Bailey is using. I assume that you all are using ChatGPT or something like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, let's say we want to, first of all, create a marketing campaign for this team who is a young professional, right? So I can now sort of describe to the AI to give us the marketing material. So let me start sharing my screen to demonstrate the first part of my presentation. And we can think of using multiple tools. As most of you all might be using ChatGPT, but today I'm going to use a variety of tools. I'm not going, and most of these tools, by the way, are free. I did not want to say, oh, you have to pay $50 per month to ChatGPT. For example, I have with me, as part of my Windows, Copilot. Okay, I don't know how many of you all have Copilot, but I will show you, we can do the same thing, for example, in Canva. You can do the same thing, for example, if you have Google, also free, Gemini. These are all tools that allow us to ask the AI tools to create content for us. And to do that, let me just open up one of my prompts. So what I'm going to do is, for this example, I'm going to use Copilot. And let's say I want to create a LinkedIn post. So rather than me typing the entire prompt here saying create a LinkedIn, I had already sort of preset a post prompt to the AI. So my club is called Quit Challenges Toastmasters Club. So what I'm doing is I'm going to ask the AI to create for me a LinkedIn post to invite people to join an upcoming club meeting scheduled on 30th September. The post should mention that it is absolutely free for guests to attend the meeting. Mention 4 key benefits of Toastmaster education program, focusing on public speaking skills that members can develop by joining the club. So one of the interesting things about AI is, at least this type of AI, which we call generative AI, is the more detailed prompt that you give, the better output you will get. I'm having some problem with this. And this is one of the problem training technology, because let me ask Gemini to do the same thing. So what have I achieved here? I have achieved, for example, immediately through AI, a very powerful, or let's say compelling post that I can put on my social media, for example, on LinkedIn, and then all the details. All I have to do is now put the location, put the time. It has even created for me hashtags, and then I'm ready to go. Okay, let me try that again with the Gemini, because Gemini is actually, Copilot. It's quite good. But for some reason, it is not responding today. I can also use, by the way, those of you all who use Canva, so Canva also, at least the pro account, if you all, those of you all who have a pro account, you all can use the AI capabilities of Canva also. And Canva also has AI. So if I was to do the same thing in Canva, I could just type the same prompt, and I will also get something similar. I think Canvas is more crisp. So you could decide which one gives you better output. And also in Canva, what I can do is I can ask it to create a flyer for this event, for example. Let's see what Canva can come up with. And you can see it has even created for me a flyer. So the VPPRs will be now wondering, what's my role now? Do I just type on prompt and be done with it? Of course, as you can see here, the flyer might not be necessarily brand compliant, but that's easily fixed using Canva. You can just go and change the background, you can change the photos, but you have already a flyer that you can start using. Okay? So that's the first part of creating flyers, right? I just want to take a pause because I have quickly shown a lot of things and I don't want you all to feel overwhelmed. So all I have done is I have used AI now to sort of create flyers, to create nice write-up for my post that I can start posting on LinkedIn, Facebook. But in my case, since my target demographic is young professionals, I think as clubs, it is apt to post such kind of content on LinkedIn. Create a club page, start building your audience there, and then you will start getting the prospects from there. Okay, let me pause for a minute. If anybody has any questions, I can read the chat also.
I've been following the chat box, and one of the question was, who is our target market? Jade, did you feel like your question was answered?
Sorry,
Yes.
I was answering the question. Does anybody know what a persona was? So that was my answer to that.
Right.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, so personas are basically used to define your target audience, and then whatever material, especially when you want to ask AI to create content, you can tell them my persona is this, and it will tailor your message to that particular persona, right? In fact, the persona that you saw was also created by AI that I had shown earlier. So I just asked AI, in this case, I think it was done by Gemini AI, just give me a persona of a young professional living in Canada and Toronto or whatever. I just gave some prompts, and it came up with this visual, right? It came up with goals, it came up with the pain points, and then I said, okay, modify it to say that this person has, for example, lives in a particular city. Then it changes it, and it gives me this visual with all of these things. So having a persona, depending upon your club's needs, you can say, okay, our target audience is so and so. We have a persona, and then all our marketing material that we create using technology sort of is tailored towards that. In terms of the technology that we used, I've shown you, you can use Gemini. I didn't use ChatGPT because I don't have the paid version of ChatGPT, and their free version is quite limited. But Canva I have paid version of Canva. I have a Canva Pro, which allows me to use many of the tools of Canva AI directly. Okay. So we have created a marketing material, and hopefully the member has sent us a message saying, I'm interested because I want to develop my communication skills. I resonated with your message of improving my public speaking. What can I do? And here, I just want to make sure that everyone understands the new workflow that has been introduced by Toastmasters from prospect to members. Okay, and how we can leverage the new workflow to keep track of all the guests that come to our meeting, keep track of them. If they then show interest, send an application to them directly, and then once they send the application, with a click of a button, you can convert them into a member. Okay. Before, we used to have this guest books, we used to write then we used to maintain a list or an email list, then we used to send out notice to them saying this is a meeting, keep reminding them to come. Now it becomes much easier, and I want to show it to everyone. Okay, let me go back to sharing my screen. So let's go to toastmasters.org. And one of the first thing that you all need to do as a club is identify what I call your link to your club's prospect management system. So if you go to scroll down, once you go to home, and if you're a club officer, you go to Club Central, we have this prospect member management. This was introduced last year. Many of you all must be using it, but I just want to make sure how Tim can feel, let's say, connected because he's young, he's tech savvy. How can he interact with the club using this technology that we have at our disposal? The first thing I want you all to understand is all clubs should first find their link. What do I mean by find their link? So on top, if you go here and you see find a club, and let's say we search for your club. So this is my club, for example. So same way, you should find your club, and you should click on this contact visit club, and the link which you see on top is your unique link for what? For whenever you want, for example, to share, let's say you get a message saying that I'm interested in joining. All you can do is, can you please fill up this small form, which is basically this, scheduling a visit, the name. And why it's good for prospects to fill up this form is because you will get accurate details how to spell. You won't make spelling mistakes when you're creating, if you were to directly create them as members. So having this link, anytime you want to ask members to fill up this form, you can use this unique link. For example, in Messenger, you can send them the link and say, hey, can you please fill up this form? And send them this link. When they fill up this form, what happens is you will be immediately notified, the member, the VP membership and the president, about the form being filled by a prospect. So if you go back to your prospect management in Club Central, you should see the form here, all the prospects of your club. So it's a great tool now for us to track all the prospects that have filled up this form. Maybe they visited the club, and then there is a specific workflow that club officers can follow. For example, this is a prospect in our club. He has filled up the form, and then we have here a status. For example, in this case, you can say, for example, club visit scheduled. In this particular case, what I have done is we have already sent the member the application form, and we are waiting for the member to now fill up the application form. This first form that was filled is not an application form. It was just main details, name, contact details. It's like a prospect form. Now they have to fill up the normal application form that we normally ask members to fill through a PDF file. But now they can be filled online. Okay? So what happens? Once the member fills up the form, you will see that the membership application, it will come received. And then you can proceed and convert that member into, prospect into a member with a simple click of a button. You don't have to fill up any details because the prospect has already filled up all the details. Why is this useful? Because now Tim, because he's tech savvy, first of all, he finds this is very convenient for him to fill up the forms, receive application, fill up the application electronically. And they can, even if we have enabled what we call self-pay, right? I don't know how many clubs here have enabled self-pay. We have. So once we send the application form to the member, they can create an account directly in TI. They can pay their membership fee, and they are automatically your members. You don't even have to collect money from. So now you have removed the function of the treasurer also. But of course, if the club is having the club fees, because you all meet in person, then you may not want to enable self-pay, right? Because you need to collect the fees for both the Toastmasters as well as for the club. In our case, we are not collecting any extra fees other than the $60. So we are fine members directly using their credit card and making the payments. Okay. So one of this workflow, as I said, is to make this whole journey from prospect to member as smooth as possible using technology, right? But at the same time, it is important that we have this meaningful interactions with this prospect. It's not just, okay, I've sent you the application form, fill it up, and then we'll see. No, you need to, your VP membership need to, first of all, explain what Toastmasters is all about. And here I feel, at least from whenever we get inquiry and say, okay, what is this Toastmasters? What do you all do? It's always good to share with them some information, not say, okay, go to toastmasters.org and you'll find everything there, because it can become too overwhelming. There's too much information there, right? So the first step could be to just give them what we call a guest packet. Do you all have, any clubs here have a guest packet that you all give to your prospects? Maybe 1 page or 2 pages of information. All right, Jade, you all do that. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one of the guest packet that I have created in Canva. I'll share the link also, so that if you all want to copy paste and start using it for your own use, feel free to do that. So to do that, I will switch to Canva. Okay, which account is this now? Oh, this is my PRM account. Let me switch to my personal account. So this is an example of a guest kit that we created in our club. So it's a simple PDF file that can be shared with the member, explaining about us, what do we do, what is a Toastmaster meeting, what is pathways, very brief information that they can read in 5 to 10 minutes, who we are. And this is very important because they should relate to the club members. Who's there in this club, okay? And they can check our social media channels. And this is what I was talking about. You can have a QR code which will directly take them to the form that they can fill up about themselves. Right? So this QR code is nothing but a link to here's my apps. Yeah. So this is, as I said, nothing but the QR code, which is here. And if you were to scan it with your phone or whatever, it would basically take them to this page, which I showed you earlier. My unique club contact page, which creates a prospect in our club system. So something like this, when they contact you, we can just directly drop them a message or email with this attachment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this as a template for anybody who's interested to do the same thing for your club. And I haven't used any pro features, so even if you are using a Canva free account, you should be able to use this very easily. So in the chat, let me post the template link. And anybody who wants to try it out and create your own guest kit, please feel welcome, free to do it. Okay, let me take a minute break. Is there any burning question around this topic about getting these prospects into a prospect management system and keeping them all in one place? creating a guest kit, and sharing it with the members. Sue, can you?
Cajetan,
Yeah. Go ahead, Sue. You raised your hand.
Thank you. I was just curious because I know my Advanced Toastmasters Club, we get people coming from all directions, not necessarily through the website. So we're trying to create a management system for that process. So would you suggest directing them to that site so they can then register before we send them a meeting invitation? Or how would
Yes.
you suggest it? Because we meet online mostly.
Yeah, it's always because whenever you get a contact, for example, that they want to attend your meeting as a guest, it's always good to fill up that form, right? Because it will be sitting in your prospect file all the time. And there you can, and I believe, the features that are available are good enough for most of the clubs. I don't know how big is your club, whether making a separate management system makes sense, because with the tools that are available in the prospect management, it's quite good enough to manage your prospects as they come and they become members.
Okay. Yeah, because I've kind of gone the other way. Because they all came from other sources. I've moved those into a Google Drive rather than have them on there. Yeah, but we'll have to kind of figure out what's going to work best.
Yeah, so all my objective was to show you what is possible right now with the Toastmaster tools that are already available, how as clubs you can make use of them to get a better control of your guests, and most importantly, to keep following up with them. You can directly send them emails from the prospect management system saying, please, this is our next meeting. So you have a list, you can download it in Excel also, you can create an email shot to all the prospects who have not yet joined, just to keep that momentum going, to encourage them to come and join your meetings. Okay, so that is assuming now that the prospect has finally decided to fill up the form, pay the fees, become the member, and now he's a member. What next? What else can we do for using technology? So now I'm going to focus on tools that are available again in Toastmasters Basecamp, not necessarily Basecamp, but in Toastmasters for members to start getting comfortable. And again, we are talking about people who want to use technology. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how these new members can start performing roles. Maybe they're not ready to give the speech for the first time, but they'll say, okay, I have seen how you all do timing, do our counter. Let me take up a small role in the next meeting, but I want to use technology to do it, right? I don't want to use papers. So how will we do that? Let me share my screen once again. So what I'm going to do is now switch the focus a little bit, because all of us use mobiles when we come to the meetings. So why not use a mobile device to do the roles, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my home and I'm going to switch this display to mimic a mobile, because remember, the whole Toastmaster website now has been revamped and it can work perfectly well on any mobile devices. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to train Tim to take up the role. Let's say he wants to take up the role of a let's say, timer for the next meeting. And as a mentor assigned to Tim, I want to show Tim it's very easy to do the timing role because we have tools available for you. On your mobile phone, just go to toastmasters.org, go to my home, and if you scroll down, you will find something called meeting tools. Right? And what kind of meeting tools we have on the website, I'll show him that we have tools for our counter, grammarian, and timer. So I'm going to show him how he can use the timer tool to perform the role. And remember, this is all done on a mobile phone. So he'll come to the meeting, and when he's called to explain the role, don't have to do anything. Click View Script and read the script that is provided. By the way, the script is a little outdated as far as I can see because they still talk about icebreaker being 4 to 6 minutes, but I know that in the new projects, the icebreaker is now 5 to 7 minutes. So maybe they need to update this to align with the new timings. But generally, as a timer, you just read the script and done. Now, and then you can choose when you, let's say the meeting starts and you want to time the member, the names will come automatically. Select the speech, let's say prepared speech, 5 to 7 minutes. And when the speaker starts speaking, start the timer. When the speaker stops, stop the timer and click on Save button. And not only does it help the person perform the role, but also at the end when is called to give the report of the timing, all he has to do is click on View Report. And there was only one speech that I had timed, and it was for 0 minutes, 7 seconds, and I'm done, right? So if I had recorded all the prepared speeches, it would have given me the timings of every person, and that's it. Same way, if we wanted to do the role for our counter, same thing. You have read the script directly from here, and then when you want to start counting, let's say a member is speaking, and you are paying attention to the speaker, and okay, you notice one so, another so, use a couple of ums. So as they are speaking, you can just use this option to keep track of the words, the crutch words that are being uttered. And once the speaker stops speaking, click Save. The next speaker comes, do the same thing, and then save. At the end, when you want to read your report, you have a ready-made report. How cool is that? Sounds good? So it's very easy to, especially these tech-savvy members when they join, it's very easy to onboard them, sit with them over a cup of coffee and say, why don't you take up this role? It's so easy. Everything is there, And then all they have to do is log in with their phone, come to the meeting, read the script, perform the role, read out the report, and they will feel, wow, this is something good. It's not just talking, but also it is about building skills, and technology is helping me to do that. Any questions on the tag roles using your mobile phone? No. Okay. Now let's say
Actually, would you, sorry, would you be able to show us how you made that viewable as a mobile view again? That just went really quickly. So how you did that on your screen?
Yes, sure. I'll do that. But I only did it to show you how it will look on a mobile phone, But If you all want your training to demonstrate how it looks, how the Toastmaster website looks on a mobile phone, yeah, let me show that to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so generally when you open Toastmasters website like this, right? If you right click anywhere on the page and you scroll down, there is usually something called inspect. And if you click inspect, it will give you this option where you can look at this page using different devices. So if you want to know how the page will look on an iPhone 12 Pro, or you want to know how it will look on, for example, iPad mini. So this is on an iPad. This is how it will look. You can simulate it, the whole website, whether it will work on these devices or no, and how it will look on those particular devices. So this is iPad Pro. I was using Samsung S20 Ultra, and this is how I simulate it. All right?
Amazing, thank you. And then there was another question about if there was any resources for general evaluator or evaluators.
We can write to Toastmasters International and come on, please make some resources for general. As of now, they have only done for timer, R counter, and grammarian. These are the 3 resources that are available and can be performed directly using a mobile phone in the meeting. And even the report can be, as I showed you, generated and shown. So as of now,
amazing,
only this.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, okay, Marvin, you have raised your hand.
Yes, there's resources and pathways actually. So every project has a new resource now for evaluation. That just came in recently, actually, probably last spring.
I'm coming to evaluation, by the way. This part of my journey of using technology to make this whole evaluations, feedbacks as simple as possible. And not only simple, but more impactful. What do I mean by that? And that's my next part of my discussion. So we have seen that we can perform timer, R counter, grammarian role. Especially for new members, it is very helpful because the script is available for them. The report comes directly at the end of the meeting. They can read it out. So then comes the part about evaluations and feedbacks and achievements and motivation that we can give to this person to make him feel valued. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm now going to focus on the Basecamp part of it, especially once again focusing on using the mobile phone, because when you come to a meeting, you want to give feedback, you want to motivate your members, you want to evaluate members. It can all be done now using technology. You no longer need to print PDF files. You no longer need to bring paper to the meeting. And that's what I'm trying to move towards, right? How we can make it. And there are some benefits for doing that, by the way. So let me switch again to sharing mode. And I'll keep my view in the mobile mode itself because I want to show you all when you come to the meeting, and especially let's say Tim today came for this meeting, he performed the role, let's say using these tools that are available for us. And you, as let's say the VP Education, you want to give some feedback to Tim for doing an excellent job. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to go to Basecamp. Now, at the end of the meeting, one of the things that you all should try to do is And let me show you. If you click on this bell icon, sorry, not bell, here on this menu, you will find something called My Clubs, right? And what does this do? It basically brings up for you the clubs that you belong to. In my case, I belong to 2 clubs. So I have ASSP Kuwait Toastmasters Club and Kuwait Challengers Toastmasters Club. And what it does is, like in this club, let's say Kuwait Challengers, I want to see all the members, right? You can see all the members, and I highly advise you to tell all your members, please put a profile photo so that I can, easily recognize you. And let's say I want to give some feedback to one of the members. All you have to do is just click on give feedback, right? And the name comes automatically because I have clicked on that member, and I can say, excellent job today as a timer, flawless, or something like that, right? So this feedback can be then added with so there are all these badges that you can assign, right? So in this case, I can give a specific badge saying timer badge. That means well done, right? So I could assign, depending upon the role that the person performed, I can give that badge, and I can say this feedback that I have given, make it visible to all the club members. Let them see the feedback that I have given. And this feedback is not only visible on their profile, but other members can also see that feedback, right? If I want to see the profile of the member, I can click view profile, and I can see the feedback that this person has received. Right? And this is a very powerful motivator because it allows you to share feedback, encourage members, give them badges. And by the way, these badges we can directly now share on social media, for example, on LinkedIn and all that. So they are quite good motivators. Okay. So that is done by clicking on My Clubs, selecting your club, identifying the member, and then giving them feedback. If you want to see their profile, then you click View Profile. So these are the 2 things you can do at the end of each meeting. Just go and give your members some motivating feedback. Right? Let's go back to the base camp. Similarly, if you are an evaluator for a speaker and you want to give feedback to the member, what we can do is we can go to Basecamp, and instead of My Clubs, which I showed you before, here in Paths and Learning, we have an option called Feedback. All right. And in this feedback, you can see now we have something called member feedback, which I already showed you that you could directly give to the member, but also there is something called evaluation feedback, right? So if I was the evaluator and I want to give feedback to the member, then all I can do is I can select the form, the digital evaluation form. I can click on View All if I want to find the right form. Let's say the person is giving an icebreaker. All I have to do is click on this button, Edit, give the speaker's speech title, select the club, then the member from that club to whom you are giving feedback, the date, and then click Continue, and then it will open up the same PDF, not PDF, but the same form that you are used to as a PDF, but online. And once you complete it, the evaluation will be directly in the inbox of the member. It's readily available to them, right? So this is how we can give feedback from your mobile device as you are doing the role. Right? So you don't need to carry PDF forms anymore. You just say, I want to give evaluation feedback, choose the right speech, right project, select the details, and directly you can fill the feedback. Also, when you do that, it will also show you the speech objectives. So when you want to read out the speech objectives, you can directly do it from that form. Any questions on giving feedback, giving badges to the members?
I have a question. How does the member receive the feedback that you give? How are they notified?
All right. Very good question, right? So I will show you an example of the feedback that I received. But for this exercise, let me switch my screen to responsive, a normal screen, so that you can see more of the content. So when I go to Basecamp, right, if I go to feedback, so this is the normal feedback that I have received. In addition to that, I should also see my, I always get confused with this part.
Rob.
She's out now. She's back on the deck. Probably may see her. See her?
Sorry, someone's talking not on mute here.
Yeah, I guess in the achievements, right? If I scroll achievements, and then I will see, so in this paths and learnings, then I showed you feedback, and then this is the achievement. Achievement actually by itself is a big topic, because all the achievements that you have completed will be available for you here. All the feedback badges that you have received, and you want to share the badges, by the way, you can click on share, and you can share it on LinkedIn, on Facebook directly, and it will show you that you have received this badge. But the question that was asked is, what happens to the feedback that I received, the evaluation that I received? And you can see that this is the 2 evaluations that I have received online, one by D42, and if I want to see it, I should be able to see it here.
May see notify.
Yeah, I think I can see examples here. Like this is the feedback that I received, and where is the more details about it?
May come in the notify section.
Yeah.
Notification.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah. So, but it is there. All the feedback that you received is here. All the certificates that you have completed are also here. By the way, the certificates prior to October 24 will not be available, but any levels that you have achieved after October 24, you can open them and you can print them yourself, all the certificates that you have completed. And one very interesting thing that I wanted to show you is in your home, there is Toastmasters home. We have also under our profile something called achievement board, right? So instead of going to Basecamp, we have also this achievement board. And anytime you complete a level 3 or above, so you will find them, all the education awards here. Any awards that you have completed, which is 3 and above, level 3, level 4, you can actually send a letter of recognition yourself to your boss, for example. Just give their name, right? Yeah. Right? And then give their email. And Toastmasters will send them out a nice email with a nice letter saying that this person has completed this and it is a great achievement and so forth. So whenever you have completed level 3, level 4, level 5, and you want to and inform them to your manager or to whoever in your organization, you can send it to them as an email directly from here. So that is also good for their career, because now they can share their achievement in Toastmasters with their bosses and then be recognized for it and maybe hopefully get promoted for it. Yeah. So I think I have reached the end of my main session, where we have identified how we could use tools to reach out using AI to get members to come, use the membership prospecting form to keep track of all the prospects and then follow up with them, then show them how to use technology to perform their roles, to perform their speeches, and then finally, of course, give them feedback, give them badges, encourage them and motivate them. And that in turn, hopefully will make them into advocates of Toastmasters.
Thank you so much, Cajetan. And I believe that was a really powerful session that we have today. And we have so much to take away from you. So thank you again. And we have been shown how technology and creativity can transform the way we connect and grow within Toastmasters. So for now, I do believe that our chat session is alive, very active. I saw so much engagement, participation. We have so many chats ongoing. And I believe that I have the help from Bailey and Marcy as well to regulate the chats and ensure that nothing falls through the cracks. And for now, I think we do have a little time within maybe 10 minutes for our participants to raise more questions. And Marcy, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Barretto. I am curious with the information that is put when we're doing the feedback. Is that available only to the members, or who has access to that information when it is put into the set? I know that with the old PDFs and handing them to the forum, and we also provide little short feedbacks within the team meetings, that a lot of the members like the privacy and taking and reflecting on that. And I'm wondering who has that information aside from the members.
Yes, very interesting and very relevant question, because again, it comes down to privacy, right? Because there are two types of feedback, as I showed you. One is the normal feedback that you want to give to your members, maybe at the end of the meeting or anytime. Let's say they went and they won at the area level, or you just want to go to their profile and say, give some feedback, well done, amazing job. Or maybe you want to give them some feedback that helps them to improve themselves. Now, when you're giving the feedback, and I'm not talking about the speech feedback, let me make it clear. There are two types of feedback: speech feedback and general feedback. So when you're giving general feedback, there is an option that I was showing you that you can decide whether other members should see it or only the member should see it, right? Because you might be, when you're praising the person, you could say available to all members. All members can see that I have praised this person. But you want to give some specific feedback, and you're not the speech evaluator. You want to say, okay, next time when you're giving a speech, I would like you to do 1, 2, 3 things, just as maybe as a mentor or something like that. And you want to only for this member to see it. So you could say visible only to the member. That's the first part, right? So you can decide, you can control who can see that feedback when you're submitting it. Choose whether all members will see it or only that member will see it. When it comes to the speech feedback given by the evaluator, that is only available to the member and nobody else, including the VP Education or the president. Nobody else can see it except that member. And that has always been the case in Toastmasters, that the feedback form that we give, the speech evaluation, is only for the member. I hope that is clear to you all, right?
All right. So Thank you, Cajetan, for answering the question. And before we jump into more questions from our audience, can I please have the help from Bailey, our chat master, to see if we have any questions that we overlooked over the chat, so we can give some priorities to those who are ahead of the queue. But we'll definitely circle back to I think, Anne Marcy. So we just wanted to make sure.
Thanks, Kelly. Yes, there was a question about the creation using AI to create the flyer. There was a question about showing us some more about individual AI learn as it knows our style. So I'm not sure if you have a couple minutes to speak to that.
So when it comes to AI, there are a couple of areas where I would definitely tell members to stay away from. And one of them is speech preparation. Speeches should be always from your heart, I believe. And you can use AI to sort of give you some ideas, but you should never read out a speech created by an AI. It will look very mechanical. It won't have the soul of the speech, right? So speech creation, this is one. Coming to posters, I haven't really started or used AI to create posters because, first of all, AI will struggle to follow the brand guidelines of Toastmasters. That's the first part. And secondly, we have very specific look and feel, right? So every time we create a poster, we want to have for our club that specific look so that it has just consistency. So when the public sees it, they sort of get connected to you the way you prepare your posters. So you could try it, but generally it will end up being non-brand compliant, and you'll spend probably more time trying to make it brand compliant anyway, right? So we haven't reached a point where AI could do a nice, beautiful flyer for you just like that, and you can start using it. We haven't reached that stage as yet. But write-ups, definitely. And especially when you are creating write-ups, right? You can also give specific prompts telling them, okay, you create all this write-up, but please use the brand voice. And you know what is the brand voice? Toastmasters has a very specific brand. You can use all those words. It should be professional, friendly, universally accepted. You can give those prompts saying, apply this brand voice, and then it will do it that way.
Wonderful, thank you. And then there was some question about how is the prospect routed to the specific club that they're interested in joining? So the way I understood the question was more so if somebody doesn't know what club that they are specifically looking for, how do they use this prospect to get connected to the correct club?
Oh, by the way, that is done by Toastmasters. So if they were searching for, let's say they were Googling for, let's say, public speaking, or somebody saying how to improve my public speaking, right? So they'll end up on Toastmasters website, right? And they'll say, find a club. And the find a club usually will tell them, show me the clubs which are nearby. And they'll get a list. And whichever they clicked on, that is the club will receive the prospect information.
Yeah. Wonderful, thank you.
Can I maybe just elaborate on that? Because I think I was one that raised that question. So I think I raised that question when you were demoing the prospect management tool. And you were saying that when you have a prospect, if you send them the link, you go into the system and send the prospect the link of where you are. So then prospect then will click the link, but then so he fills out that general information. But then
what I was trying to say is you will get in the prospect management tool all the prospects that have been routed by Toastmasters. But also because that unique link is there for you as a club, what I was saying is you could take that link and use it as a marketing material to send members to that same link, right? So if you created, for example, a LinkedIn post and say, do you want to become a better public speaker? Join this club. Here's the link. It will directly take them to the prospect tool, right? And they'll fill up the form and it will come straight to you because you have shared with them the link to your club.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for providing that clarity. Ainur? I believe you're next up.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you very much. It was interesting as usual. Mr. Cajetan, can you please share your idea? Is it possible to use these tools, AI tools, especially for prospective members, if not only for one specific club, if as a district, if we wanna create a new clubs? Is it possible? Otherwise, it will take a lot of time to put all the datas, and you have to use your mobile or notebooks, this kind of stuff. And any possibilities? Thank you.
Yes, so I am the district PRM, so I do a lot of marketing at the district level, right? Because we want to reach out at the country level. And there we do not only just LinkedIn post or social media, we do paid marketing. We do paid marketing where we try to get people to come to our club. And in this case, what we do is we normally route them to our district website, because the district website has all the clubs, where are they located, which date do they meet, what time do they meet. So based on that, then individual clubs will then receive the prospects. You understand? So marketing is a PR responsibility. As a PRM, that's my responsibility. And at a district level, we are not targeting a specific club. We are targeting the whole country. In our case, actually, it's multiple countries. And based on the interest, we will create the marketing material. I do use AI, by the way, to create marketing material, for sure. First of all, just to make sure it is grammatically correct. That's the first part of it. And then, of course, use the right words that will attract members to read, and then call to action. In this case, the call to action will be land them on our district website, where they can see how many clubs we have, where are they located, and then they can reach out to individual clubs and then go from there.
All right, thank you, Cajetan. That was a really insightful response that I think Ainur might have some takeaways from it. And I do believe we do have the time for one more question. Marcy, if you're ready, please let us know what's your doubt or concern.
Thank you. Wonderful session, lots of great information. I find using my phone awkward, my mobile device. I'm just not as comfortable with that, but I love the fact and the idea to suggest it to others in our club. With regards to the unique prospect list, initially I thought of perhaps including it, but I think I can't see, because we're promoting at a club level, not at a district level. I'm a former district and regional PRM, and I'm wondering, like, when to utilize that link. I know we get the information, but we've been made aware of it now. It goes into the system. And is the club the only person that is responding to them in the perspective, or are they getting inundated with information from TI?
No, when a prospect fills up the form, first of all, I think 3 people receive it, as far as I know. The VP membership receives the email notification. The president and the secretary also receives this notification saying there is a prospect who has filled up the form. And then you just go to the club central and you check it out. But by the way, the access to prospect management is available to all the 7 club offices, not just to 2 or 3. All of the 7 club offices have, and that's another thing, by the way, all the 7 club offices now have access to not only prospect management, but entire base camp also. Before, remember, it used to be president and VP education and secretary. Now all 7 club officers can approve levels and so forth. So they've opened it up.
It's really interesting. If that change has occurred, I don't know that we are aware of it. So many changes, and to be communicated. And where do we learn about these changes?
True.
So thank you so much for your information, because this is valuable information, I believe, for all of our club officers, in not only club, but district officers, because I believe a lot of district officers are unaware of these changes. Thank you.
All right, so thank you, Marcy, thank you, Cajetan, and all the audience who have raised their questions that provided a little other perspective that we can look at regarding how to do PR stuff through tech and AI. So such a fruitful section with you, our distinguished Toastmaster Cajetan. We explored so many powerful insights. We have covered the importance to find your target market, harnessing tools that truly suit your needs, ranging from Gemini, Copilot to Canva. And we also got practical ways to outreach to our prospective members using the Toastmaster website. I think a lot of us may have overlooked how broad of the coverage it offers. And lastly, how to create a useful guest kit or package that can appeal to our new audiences. I think we can definitely make the best use of our meeting tools as well. And I'm so confident with such a broad and practical coverage today, everyone has at least one idea, one tool, or one strategy they can carry forward from Cajetan's session. So let's put it into action, not as learners, but also as leaders who can really turn attendees into advocates. And once again, huge thank you to Cajetan for sharing your time, your energy, and wisdom with us today. And thank you to each of you who shows up ready to grow, to connect, and to shine. So to keep the momentum going, I would really love to hear from our participants today on how you feel about this session today. So I'll hand over the session to Rahita, who I believe we have prepared a series of questions for you to give us a little comments or feedback. So take the stage, Rahita.
Thank you, Kelly. It's not going to be a series of sections, but just a simple question for you. So as we wrap up, I request all of you to take a moment to think about what resonated the most with you today, especially like what you'll take back to your club, workplace, or daily life. There's a link in the chat that I just posted where you can share those reflections. So please go ahead, click on the link and share your thoughts and your key takeaways and your feedbacks that would help us improve and get better, even more better the next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Rahita. I think our participants is actively inputting their comments there. I'll give you guys all some time to work on it.
Yeah, I have shared my screen so that you can see like what everyone's thinking about it.
Thank you. So happy to see everybody has their own major takeaway from here. We see that AI tools is definitely one of it. How to get effective and timely feedback is also one. Team motivation. Thank you, Pretty. And yeah, prospective members tool is something new for me as well. So that's something we can definitely look into because attracting new members is so important for club growth. And we know that the key word today is feedback. Definitely, it would be so useful For every Toastmaster meeting here, we receive feedback all the time. And that's what makes us grow and improve and come back as a better Toastmaster next time. We thank you all for your input today. And the poll is still open, so feel free to drop in your message. But right now, I would love to pass our time back to our project lead, Ola, who is our District 42's PR manager, and we believe she will have some exciting news and announcement for us. Ola, if you feel comfortable, please go ahead. We'll love to hear from you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kelly, for doing an amazing job. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. We hope you've got value. You've got all the good stuff to go back with. Thank you. The announcement we have today, and distinguished Toastmaster Cajetan Barretto, thank you so much for your time, value. Come 17th of January, 2026, we'll be having our second session. We are delighted to share that the youngest district director in Toastmasters International will be speaking with us. He'll be speaking on LinkedIn, your brand, you, everything that has to do with personal branding along the lines of LinkedIn. That is what he will be sharing with us. We encourage everybody to join us again, register, and the link would be put in the chat box for us. Ladies, if you can please drop in the chat box. He's coming to discuss everything about LinkedIn. LinkedIn for work, LinkedIn for personal awareness, personal branding, everything LinkedIn. LinkedIn for your club, LinkedIn for you, LinkedIn for everything, personal branding. He's coming all the way from District 20, Bahrain, distinguished Toastmaster, an amazing innovator, leader, TEDx speaker, all things public speaking. That's him. We encourage everybody, join us again and let's have fun, grow and learn together. And that's it. I'm handing it back to the Toastmaster, Kelly.
Thank you so much, Ola. That was so exciting. I believe that will be another successful session that we encourage everyone to sign up for it. And
I would like to basically say that because Khurram Salman is a good friend of mine and an amazing workshop trainer, I have attended this workshop personally myself, and that's why I recommended to Ola, please get him. You will benefit from him.
Then thank you, Cajetan. You're such a strong endorsement for this session. Then we are glad to have you as the first PR that was pushed out to our audience. And I believe we will definitely show up again and see each other soon in January for the upcoming session. But of course, a big round of applause to Cajetan, who is with us today to deliver his very insightful and broad knowledge. Thank you, everyone who made it here. We love to see you next time, and have a good morning, day, or night, and we'll appreciate your appearance. And I'll send off this meeting, so bye-bye, everybody.